Well, we now move, ladies and gentlemen, into part 2 of the program, where we're going to be focusing on sweet proteins. And to kickstart this segment, it's now a great pleasure to welcome our next speaker, a dedicated physician with over 30 years in holistic healthcare, specializing in prevention, health optimization, and longevity. His expertise lie in the pivotal role of nutrition in maintaining optimal health, particularly in addressing sugar and its associated health diseases. He also developed the glucose-adapted diet to help people reduce sugar intake and improve their quality of life. He's here with us today. Please do join me in welcoming Dr. Harry König, the King of Health from Germany.
Well, thank you, Laura, for this kind introduction, and a warm welcome to you. Thank you also for the invitation to give me this stage to speak about health. This is what I'm taking care of all my life, and I want to focus on what you see here. Let food be thy medicine. It's not a quote of mine, as you see. It is from Hippocrates, the doctor of modern medicine, living in Greece. Already at that time, he found out, like many others before and after him, the importance of food in health and for health. So let me add a little bit to the introduction. I'm a generalist, a general practitioner. I'm a dying breed, as we say, because I am focusing on like the person in a holistic way. I want to find out who you are, what you do, who you live with, what your work is, what your family history is, what your past history is, to understand you in all your facets in the holistic way, to be able to be counseling you properly according for you not to get sick, or when you got sick, to get back to your best individual possible health. Version number 2 is the specialist who looks at you in the focus of a lens when you come to him with a problem. Most of us nowadays go to see a specialist first, not after seeing a generalist, which might be a mistake because he doesn't know you, he doesn't know why your knee is paining, what was happening in the past, why your shoulder is a problem, why your gut is a problem. So sometimes reflect before you see a doctor and consider seeing somebody who knows you very well. So most of the time you can solve the problem before you go in more complicated pathological or treatments. So now nutrition, core part of holistic health. Why is that so? Because as you see here, it plays finally still a crucial role in taking care of your optimum health. Nutrition is the backbone of your very individual health. And I'm going to ask you to watch yourself for a few minutes now, because I saw you eating during that break mainly carbohydrates, sugar, as we speak about sugar. So what's happening now, you're having a little high because your sugar levels are rising now. In about 10 to 15 minutes, you're going to go low, because then your sugar is going to sink and you're going to get tired. So then I'm ready with my talk, so others have to fight with your tiredness, but just try to watch it, how sugar will now affect you after you had that little nice break. Healthy nutrition is very individually important, and we spoke about individual approaches to nutrition, and this is what we do on an everyday basis, and it does regenerate, recovers you, and it is very preventative to be eating the right way. But now, what is the right way? All through my medical life, I've been going through many different kind of diet approaches, diet recommendations. When I started off, they told me you have to eat 10 times a day, you have to eat that amount of sugar, that amount of this and that, very complicated and complex, and we don't have the time. And what we do, we all eat too fast and too much. This is very, very clear. So now we see here, why is blood sugar, as we spoke about it just now, no, you are now in a high, is so important to be stable. What do we mean with stability of blood sugar? And you read it here. Sugar spikes are causing significant health issues and are the reason for the most modern chronic diseases. 80% of modern chronic diseases are caused by malnutrition, by bad eating habits. So a stable sugar means that your sugar is not peaking and declining all through the day. It means that we all should try to have a stable blood sugar level as anyhow possible. Now, all being in a high for the moment, I'll tell you why it is important to have a stable sugar level. It is your main energy source, and the body is doing everything to put the sugar all time on a constant level. So insulin, glucagon, everything works all the time to keep you leveled. Now it's on a stress phase. And if you don't have a stable energy resource, you know what happens. You get tired, non-energetic, sleep, everything is disturbed because it all connects to that energy level. And it controls your hunger. Now, when you want to go down after this high you're having now, about half an hour later you're going to be hungry again. Because your sugar drops, the body tells you you need sugar, so you're going to be eating again. So you're in a vicious circle. Why is that so? Because the timing of the input of sugar for your body is very important. The mood. Why do people love sugar? Because it's very important to keep a stable mood with a stable sugar level in your body. When you get hangry, you know the term hangry? You get angry because you're hungry. This is exactly what it's a mood stability about the stable sugar level says. And obviously it controls the metabolic, all the fatty acids we spoke about, all the sugar levels which are so bad for your body, because imagine sugar forms in the long term a protein sugar complex. It's so aggressive to your body that it gives you all the chronic diseases we'll be speaking about in a moment. This is because of the sugar who actually is not maintained in a stable level. Cardiovascular health is one of those, and even the World Health Organization states 80% of chronic diseases like A, B, C, D, E, all those you know, are caused by malnutrition, by eating wrong. We don't have too little, we have too much. We eat too much, too fast, and the wrong things. So this is what we have to teach as medical people, make you alert that you understand before you go eating you need 2 seconds. Before you sit down and order, 2 seconds to think about the rules I want to share with you. Now, when people were talking about how can we solve the problem, they said, okay, modern science, we got artificial sugar, let's use it. And after implementing about 40, 50 years ago, the zero-calorie food, the world grew more obese than before. The US being one of the master examples, 30% more overweight 10 years after implementing the zero-carb. Diet Coke, this, the chips, everything made the people bigger. And I can explain you why. Let's go on increasing appetite feeling after you consumed artificial sugars. Here, by the way, we put them. And I really wonder why nobody has tried to take them off market and forbid them, because they are an unhealthy, health dangerous product. It shows you that people who eat artificial sugars crave more food after they had it. They got anxiety, depression, because it interacts with neurotransmitters. For me, the worst is the impact on the gut health. We spoke about bioma. Bioma is a very, very important organ. It's called an organ nowadays. We actually regained an organ in the last 5 years. Are the bacteria. 10 times more bacteria in our gut than we have body cells. And they're producing our immunity, they protect our immunity system, they produce vitamins, they prevent from inflammation, and they are corrective for your body. If we treat them badly, for example, with this scientific, with the synthetic sugars, then we have a problem. Let's forget about the bad taste. It doesn't taste good. You just get used to it. You have to force yourself to get used to it. But in the end, we see this was and is not the solution. So as we speak today about what might be a solution, then we have to speak about sweet proteins. When you hear the word sweet proteins, you have 2 things which you like. We like the protein. It's a substantial nutritional factor we need. It's an amino acid structure. It's not harming the body at all. It doesn't give you the aftermath that you want to eat more sugar, a crave, after you started eating those products. It is very potential. It is 500 times more sweet than artificial sugar and 1,000 times sweeter than normal sugar we use, industrial sugar. And the health impact is a positive one for one special reason, medical-wise. It does not touch your sugar level at all. It's an amino acid. So it doesn't involve any kind of insulin spikes, sugar spikes in your body. So it's, if we look at it, a very good replacement for the carbohydrates we had. Imagine 100% of what you had now as carbohydrates was sweetened with the proteins. you wouldn't go in the stress where you are now, you wouldn't get tired, and you had a healthy input in your diet. And you won't feel the difference, because the way we can work with those substances, the experiences we have with those substances already up to now, shows that even in haute cuisine, they're going to be using those substances in the future. And why would people want to use them? Because they love a healthy approach to their diet. They love, if you give them something new, they have to understand it's not endangering you. It's a healthy addition to your diet. So, low caloric content, no blood sugar impact, a good taste, and health impact which is only positive, and no habitual effects. We have it all, what we want. So, knowing all that, putting things together of modern science, now the sugar stability is very mod, but you have to translate it into people's daily life. As I said, diet really doesn't sound good. It just means have your best individual food intake, is your individual diet. We spoke about individuality, and each and every person here in this room has problems with certain kinds of food that you know yourself, but you have to also act accordingly. Remember the 2 seconds before you sit down to eat? Use those 2 seconds to think, I'm going to be respectfully eating, not to get sick because of what I eat. Let be food, Thai medicine. Let our food be the things which make us stronger, not weaker. And this is what we have to transport from the medical part, and we developed GLAD. Why did I choose GLAD? It's a positive word for a diet, right? It's glucose-adapted diet, doesn't sound good. GLAD makes you happy when you hear it. I'm going to put you on a GLAD diet. And the GLAD diet is a very simple way. First of all, I don't want you, as it says here, optimization. I don't want no deprivation. I don't tell you not to eat 1, 2, or 3 things. This you know yourself better, what your tolerance is to, what your intolerance is to. It's just the way of eating I'm emphasizing. We're going to speak about it. It's the balance, and it has to be no vegan, no vegetarian. It's better, obviously, to have the main part of your food should be 75% plant-based, definitely. But you can, everything else you want to enjoy, enjoy. Just don't touch things which have been chemically changed, which have too much preservatives, and you know it. Just eat healthy and orientated. And why and where the low glucose comes from the fiber, from the plant-based food, which you always will start off with in future. The moment you go to eat from now on, please, and you're going to eat unhealthy, you're going to overeat. If you eat the fibers first, you're going to eat less automatically, on your own. No medication needed, nothing. And obviously, try to move. What we're doing now is not good because you've been eating and not moving. Now that actually aggravates the sugar level, but now we can't help that very effect. In future, you should walk a little bit after you've been eating. So the easy solution by GLAD is don't always eat. Only eat 2 to 3 times a day max. And take-home message number 1 is do not snack in between your meals. Do not eat anything in between. Even if you're tempted, do not touch food apart from your meals. If you do that, your sugar levels is so balanced either way that you're going to improve everything, your cholesterol, your HbA1c, your long-term sugar. And this is the trick which you can use on an everyday basis. If you don't change anything leaving this conference now, change this. Do not snack in between. And then try to eat mainly plant-based, which is also easy because we got offered plant-based food a lot on each and every dinner. And never start with the sugar, always start with the fibers. And keep on moving. So, come back to the sweet proteins. Where are they going to be now in the GLAD diet, in the modern world of eating behavior? Well, F&B industry obviously will change. Again, imagine you had more protein than sugar now for your break, would be great. And industry will implement that because it is, as we come down here, it is already extensively explored in the research of the new food beverage products, and it will have its place. and it will supplement a lot of sugar future-wise, which is going to help us. But it's going to come automatically because the people, for me, the patients, for you, the customers, they will want a healthy alternative for sugar, not the artificial negative one, which they already moved away from. From the youth, I don't hardly know anybody who's having those diet products anymore. They don't want that. They know about the negative impact of it. And in medicine, obviously, supplementations, everything we need in diabetic treatment, in nutrition for people who have metabolic problems, we'll be using them. And obviously also all the supplementations, which I'm a big fan of. I'm a big fan of supplementing what each and every person needs. If you have a car which is 50 years old, what do? It's an old-timer. You are crazy about the car, you take care of the tires, you do extra oiling, you extra shine, you do extra protection against rusting. And if we turn 40, 50, most of us say, no, nature has to solve the problem. Nature solves a lot of problems, but nature can't solve if you have too little oils in your body, too little vitamins in your body. Then you have to take care that you supplement it in a positive and actually corrective way. I think the place of the proteins in future is very clear. So let me come to the conclusion. It will be a significant role in future in nutrition. Why? Because it's a natural origin and it has a lot of health benefits and it fits the GLAD diet. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you don't experience too much of a sugar low now.